I suppose I've been the CDA for London GAA since 2012. So through my research with the clubs, the county board and the youth committee, the one recurring issue was bridging the gap between child, youth and adult, getting the young homegrown players through to adult level. So the concept that we came up with was establishing the development squads. So our development squads were established in 2013, trying to increase the number of players that were playing the games in London, but also retaining them and keeping them playing through 15, 16, 17 years of age. So then we created a player pathway through from the GAA games, which were established up to under 12. Then the players go on and play in the FALA competition at under 14. They move into the development squads then 15, 16, 17, 18, and then hopefully through into adult club football in London. We also introduced what we'd like to think is quality coaching to the young players, and hopefully improving the standard of player that are now being produced in London. So then when they actually come to 18, 19 years of age, they're actually able to make the senior teams in their clubs. And finally make London GAA then a self-sustaining entity. Far too long we've been relying on Irish players coming over on the boat and stuff like that, and feeding into our clubs. So at the present moment we're trying to work on getting more homegrown players through and playing at adult level within London. The aims of the development squad when they were set up in 2013 were to have qualified coaches working with the squads rather than parents. Not that there's anything wrong with parents, but we wanted to improve the quality of coaching and put all our coaches through coaching courses. Introduce the young players to sports science. It's become a massive thing for GAA players nowadays, so our thinking behind that was to get them, introduce them to it at a younger age, and they'd have a better idea of it. Create a learning environment, so we never talk about winning or losing with the young players. We're focused on development all the time, and we always talk about coaching the person rather than coaching the player, and have a holistic approach to the whole thing. We enter tournaments in Britain and Ireland. Every year we take our under-16s over to the Dermot Early competition over in Connacht GAA, as well as the All-Britain competitions that are organised by Britain GAA each year. Another aim when we set up was to enter into the Minor All-Ireland Championship. We haven't achieved that one as of yet, but Pat assures me that we may be taking part in the coming years. And finally, to have a conveyor belt of talent coming through. So we want to have young homegrown players making it into the adult teams year in, year out, and each club then in London will be self-sustained and have a core group of players that they'd have, and whatever Irish players will come in then over the years will be just add-ons to that. How we set about achieving this: we had regular training sessions throughout the year for all the players, the young players, so not just during the season. We run from February to November. They train all year round. We keep attendance records. Each player has to have a 60% attendance rate to be considered for selection, so we're rewarding their commitment to the actual project rather than their quality or how much to the team. We've a yearly training schedule, so every player knows when training is on, where it's going to be, what time it's at, for the whole year from the very beginning. So it's built into their diary, and it's a part of their life week in, week out. Sports science, again, we introduce sports science to the players. We have a guy with a master's degree who's worked for QPR. He's worked over in the Indian Super League, so he comes from a professional background, and he's brilliant with the kids, and he introduces them to mobility and teach them about how their body moves and preparing properly for adult football. We introduce them to team structures and systems, which, as we can see from the games at the weekend, have become vital in football in the modern day. We teach them about the team environment, prepare them for what's going to happen when they get older, introduce them to different systems of play, and hopefully give them the best chance of going and performing at a higher level. And then we've high calibre personnel working with the groups. So in recent years we've had the London Senior Football Manager, Kieran Deely, level 2 coaches, level 1 coaches taking each of the squads. So we're all the time trying to get the best people in, get the best people involved in working with our young players in London. And finally then, just some of our achievements. We've over 50 players involved in our development squads at the moment. We've 5 of our players have graduated into the London Senior Football Squad, which we're delighted about, and a couple of them played in the championship this year. We've over 20 of our players, current or past, gone on to play adult football within London. Some of them with great success. Some of our players have won senior league, senior championship medals, played in the junior championship final last year. We've also, in the last 3 years, taken part in the Dermot Early, as I mentioned. in the 10 matches that we played, we've won 5 and drawn 1, so we've been very competitive with the counties at home here in Ireland. And finally, all our coaches are qualified, and then we want to put them through more courses. So as I mentioned, with our FAILA squads this year, we had 2 level 1 coaches and a level 2 coach. Working with the development squads again, we had 2 level 1 coaches and another level 2 coach. So we've put great emphasis on providing quality coaching and getting the right people involved working with our young players. In conclusion then, the cost has been 0 to London GAA. We ask each player at the start of the year to put in £20 each, which mightn't sound much, but it just covers the costs for expenses and things like that throughout the year. And if you were to ask me about what the success of the project had been, I suppose having qualified coaches involved, rewarding the commitment of the players, and creating an environment whereby we're not focused on winning and losing, and we're trying to develop the players and improve them and ensure that they're better from session to session, year to year, and season to season. So just to conclude then, thank you very much for listening, and Mullen Oiga agus Chuckig Shi.